Good afternoon. My name is Michael, and we are back to the future trading. And every Thursday, we get back together and look at the forecasts that we provided for free for the customers who are examining the program that we teach. And so we'll be looking very closely today at these images. Every Thursday, we come back together and look at the forecasts that were provided for Wednesday and Thursday in advance. And by forecasts, I need to explain a little bit about what the software is doing. You see, we go back into the historical data and we look for recurring historical patterns. Most people don't realize that banks are looking backwards into the past, or rather, banks are repeating movements over and over and over again under the illusion that everything is random and happening sort of in reaction to something. For example, in our live classes every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the last 2 years, I've been telling all of our students that the recession was coming in the spring of 2025. How many of you at home remember when I told you that 2 years ago? And now here we are, 2 years later, the spring of 2025, and the market is falling like a rock. We believe that timing is very important and that these people have plans. For example, one of the things you can look at is Republican presidents, stock markets falling. And if you go back and you look at some of the images, you'll see the places where Republican presidents like Bush and Trump and others have come in, Nixon and Bush and Trump, and the market has lost ground. So this isn't something that's very unusual. In fact, many people see this as a tactic to reset prices and allow billionaires to enter in at wholesale prices at a large correction. We'll talk today about how large that correction is. But for now, what I want you to see is that 4 days ago, no more, no less, 4 days ago, this picture was uploaded to the interwebs, courtesy of Al Gore's internet. And you'll see that there are a series of times on the bottom of the chart and a series of times on the top of the chart. And the series of times at the top of the chart were evidence of things that were likely to happen this week on Thursday. Remember, we've had these times and directions since 4 days ago. All of the signals on the bottom of the chart were the times that we were expecting buying pressure to occur. So since Tuesday, this information has been available in the public space. And we're about to see what happened 2 days after the fact, or in this case, 4 days after the fact, because we uploaded them earlier for you. If we come here and minimize my PowerPoint and we get right to the heart of the matter, what you're going to see when I get the right slide up is a following confirmation. 2 a.m., 2 a.m., 4:50, 4:50, 6:10, 6:10, 6:40, 6:40, 7:25, 7:25, right up to and including 9:40, all the way down to 4 o'clock right here. Dave, does that show up okay on your side, on your computer? Can you see those numbers, Thomas and Mary and Larry? Let me know if those come in okay. Okay, cool. So what that tells me is that the times that I gave out 4 or 5 days ago, 4 days ago, are the ones that we're looking at on this chart. Okay, so let's look at what was available and what actually transpired and talk a little bit about what's going on the screen that you don't have, and what your guru, what marketing companies that compete with us don't want you to know about the market, and how much money you could have made today if you simply followed the free signals. Many of you have a daily goal if you're trading with a funded account, and you only need $200, $300, $400, $500 a day, and you multiply that across multiple accounts that you've had with each of these firms. Today, you're going to see that that was a ridiculous proposition, and there was far more money on the table that you left behind. Everything to the right of this white line is the future. These are bars that haven't painted yet. And along the way, you'll see that there are rest areas. This sell signal, for example, at 8:20 Eastern. This buy signal at 10:05 Eastern. And then just past midnight tonight, another sell signal. The height of these dots doesn't mean anything. They're hanging out in space, just like the histogram has them down below, to remind you that those signals are coming. The only reason these signals are here is because in the past historical record, these movements have happened over and over again, enough times for the algorithm to go and remind us that they've occurred. Does that make sense? So this morning when we were looking at the market, there was a big report. How many of you followed the report this morning? That's right, quite a few of you. We had PPI, core PPI, and unemployment claims. Now, Forex Factory and investing.com and other websites will publish these reports in advance. I can see what's coming tomorrow, for example. Tomorrow, Great Britain has their GDP. The United States has its consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. The big reports are colored rather red or sometimes orange. These are reports that are expected to move the market. And so everything I'm showing you here today should be impossible because these were big reports that everyone was watching for. Now, I want to go through this quickly because there's other markets for us to get to today. But you'll notice the signal at 8:55, right? And then 8:40, down at 8:40, up at 8:55. Those two seem to have predicted what banks had planned in advance. Okay, but those are pre-market. It's hard to know what the market's going to do once it's open. It's crazy, bananas. Well, let's just look really quick because here's what I see. At 9:40, 4 days after that number and color were published, blue 9:40, after a market-moving report that nobody should know the times, or rather the information inside of, what happened? The prediction was for a fall from 9:40, ending at the latest 10:15. And the market opened at 55.96 and drove all the way down to 55.56. It fell $40 or $2,000 per contract. Now, we're not looking at a specific trade setup yet, but we will in a moment. Lee, what was expected to happen at 10:15, the counter trend trade? Market was falling. What were we expecting to come in at 10:15? We were expecting buyers to come in at 10:15. And I'm not going to insult your intelligence with little graphical shenanigans. You can see for yourself what happened 4 days after the prediction. There is a sustained move. The candle opens around 75 and goes up to 604, $29 of moves or $1,500 per contract right away. The rocket ship 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, now an interesting thing happens. Here's a little advanced knowledge for you. Mary, when it opens around 75, and then we get to the end of the zone and it's starting to languish and go down and it's not holding that gain. Mary, that tells me the appetite for longs is gone. This was a flash in the pan, a stop run event. There's no institutional support for it because we've driven all the way back to where we started. We've made zero progress, Larry. And that makes me very interested as a trader because 11:20 is when the other side gets to do their thing. If the institutional buying couldn't sustain its move, it's $1,500 per contract. Guess what they're loading up at 11:20? Well, we don't have to guess because 4 days ago, the program warned us. We published it on the internet. 18,000 people saw it. We're going down. How long are we going down for? At least 11:25, or I'm sorry, 12:35 Eastern. And again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence. It came all the way down, and then Lee, look, one bottom, two bottom, three bottoms. Where does it push off from? 1235. Lee, 1235. Then the market opens at 3750. Whee! Breaks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles worth of highs and goes up to 58. That is not a bad move. But Mary, look. Do they finish higher? No. They finish right back where they started. It's this again. What is the appetite for longs at this point? Zero. It's like you bring out something to a Christmas or a holiday party. You're like, look, these are pickled chicken's feet glazed with honey and pecans. And like your mom eats it because she's your mom and goes, Tom, that was delicious. Good effort, son. And then the rest of your pickled chicken's feet with honey and pecans sits there getting parameciums all over it because nobody wants it. Which tells me what? The next signal, they're cocking the gun. 125. We've known since Tuesday, Monday even, down 125. Until when? 205. Now I want to stop because I've spoken to probably 30 traders this week who are looking at the software. I've spoken to them personally. In the case of Ergovon, I showed you a live trade. I showed you the signal in front of your own eyes. And you knew how this worked. And everyone says the same thing. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Michael, I don't have any money. But that's a lie. What they're not saying, what people aren't saying is I've spent so much money on garbage. I buy garbage. And your program isn't garbage. And I can't make money with the garbage I already bought. It's a symptom. When you tell people, I don't have any money. Okay, Ergovon, I'm going to take the heat off you. Drew is in the webinar. I'm going to post him what you just said. Woo, hang on. And I'm going to fix it because I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And I'm going to tell him what you said right here. And he's going to go crazy when he reads what I just wrote you. Shannon writes, I've had it for 6 weeks. I bought a lot of different garbage over time. They wrote things. And this is the only one that works. Okay. So I'm going to calm down and I want you to see 125 to 205. Lee, what happens? 3, 2, 1. And then the starship blows up. It blows up over Orlando. Ah! And it falls. It falls at 255, which is great. Oh, it's so good. And then where's the next signal? Right here live. It's been on since 3:45. So I've had the signal pointing to this signal since before the open, or rather before the open of the webinar. And the candle opens at 4 o'clock, 55.21.75, and it goes to 54.43.75. Now, the people, you can type to him in the webinar, Drew, you're an organizer. Just click on his name, right click, and you can have a chat with him. No worries. You can call Rachel in the future and she'll do it for you if you're busy. We got him. Good job. I can see the signals coming up in the future, right? And that's one of the best parts of this. So if we come and we look at the E-mini NASDAQ, for example, this one is the one most of you crazy pants people try to trade. And I want you to look real quick. I want you to look at the morning this morning, before and after the report. And again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence and draw lines everywhere. I'm just going to draw them where the lines are a little far from the signal. And Shannon, look at what happened at 10:01 today on the 1 minute NQ. Look at what happened at 8:58 and 9:09, and then 9:39 at the open, and then 9:52 at the open. Pre-market, if you're going to trade before you go to work, 7:26, 7:57, 8:13, 8:21 is the only one that flakes out, and then it goes up at 8:36 and down at 8:42. Every webinar you've been to that isn't my webinar, they show you this after the fact. And they say, Oscar, Omar, I want you to trust me. I want you to trust me that these are the signals you would have seen on your computer. And Kevin, what inevitably do you find out after you purchase the program? When those guys give you the lagging indicators, what do you inevitably find out 1 day, 2 days, 3 days later? Let's make a list of everything that's happened to me. Number 1, the signals disappear. Number 2, the signals repaint or reposition. Number 4, the chart was optimized that week for the market conditions, then doesn't work anymore. Number 4, the vendor is a liar, has a secret monitor I can't see where great trades are happening. That's what happens with these other guys. And so what I do is different because the burden of proof is so high. A, I give you the times 4 days in advance. Number 2, I give you the directions. And then what? Wednesday and Thursday pass. I can't change them. They're in the interweb. I can show you the web server upload report, and the owner of the web server would testify in a court of law on penalty of perjury that that's when the photo was upgraded or uploaded and not changed. And then I also give you a trading system, which is based on trend for you to follow along. And then we come together at 4 p.m. on Thursday and we say, what the heck happened? So it's completely transparent. There's no way for the signals to disappear, repaint, reposition. The chart is never optimized because I use the same settings every week. And I'm not a liar because I've been where you're sitting and I know what happens when you don't follow the rules. I know what happens when vendors lie. So what are the rules? How could we trade this? Let me show you. There's 4 setups, but the 2 that I told you about in the beginning are signals with trend. That's number 1, and I'm gonna blow this up. That's what she said, and I'm gonna make the font a little bigger. Boom, we'll make it 40 instead of 20, and we'll save that as default. Okay. Perfect. Signals with trend. Off the bat, there are a few examples of signals with trend that you had in the video. 858 is a signal with trend. The 120 period moving average is up. It's white, not blue. 939 is a signal with trend. The moving average is blue, which means it's curling down, and it's a sell signal. There's another signal with trend at 952. The moving average is falling when we get to the time. We've had this time since Monday. 9:52, signal with trend. And then right here at 10:01, when that candle closes above the moving average, it finally becomes a signal with trend, and we call this a crossover trade. It crossed over the moving average. It's on the north side of the Mason-Dixon line, baby. You are free. These are signals with trend. So how do we trade them? What did the video I gave you 4 days ago say to do? Number one, in the indicator, there's a parameter called volatility stop. 1.5 ATR. And what it's doing is it's measuring how big is a 1 minute bar now. It looks at the last 7 bars and says, how big is a 1 minute bar based on the last 7 bars? Put your stop one of those bar lengths plus another half bar away. 1.5 average true ranges of the 1 minute bar. You want to make it smaller? Make it smaller. I don't care. Size doesn't matter here. Really? Nothing? Okay. So there's the stop. Where do I enter? I enter on the close of the candle. That's what I put in the instructions. Some people enter at the open. Those are called weirdos. If you're a weirdo and you're profitable, ignore me. But if you're not and you're using this system, consider the close of the candle, because I find that's been better for me after 15 years. Enter, and then when do I exit? When did the trading signal I told you, the system in writing? At the close of the next candle, boom, $32.75. Okay? Now, I missed a signal with trend, and I want to be thorough even if it costs me. Lee, right here, that candle closed below the moving average. See it? It was a sell signal. No, no. Pops through. I missed it. I caught it. Don't yell at me. If you cut me, I bleed. I make mistakes. Crossover trade. Crossover trade. Crossover. Where do I enter? I enter on the close of the candle. My stop goes 2 ticks above the high of the candle. Guess what? I didn't get stopped out on this one. When do I get out? I get out by the next signal. From here to 9:37. Woo! $42. Crossover signal with trend. No, you're good. 9:39 is a signal with trend. It's below the moving average. It's right at the moving average. Volatility is much higher. The stop is further away. I know how long to trade. 9:39 until 9:46. I'm walking, yes, sirree, I'm walking till you come back to me. Boom, 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 boom. $52. Now here comes the piece de resistance. This is why Ergvan walked over to his wife and said, I don't care what your mother said about me. I'm going to be the best trader in the world now that I found this. And at 9:52, he went short. And it just fell off a rock. 20% tariffs on Nerf guns. 30% tariff on swimming pools, 180% tariff on Pekingese dogs, 1,000,000% tariff on pornography. Wait, what? Just kidding. Close of the candle, 10:01, I'm out. $97 move. Boom. And then that last trade right here, the crossover, close of the candle, stop below. Stops here, enter here, exit. 1023 is $11. Okay, those are signals with trend. The other setup is called a puncture, and there's none of those here. A puncture says, hey, if we got to 1001, and the market kept falling, and it went through this white line, we would sell it under 272. So if you had a candle that opened here, Lee, and it just goes boof, 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 and punctures that line right there, I enter short where it goes through the white line. I put my stop above it, kind of like a crossover trade. And now I hold it until the next signal, or 1023. I go short at the failure of a counter trend signal. But that didn't happen over here. Okay. Then, yeah, you can wait for the close. I wait for it to go right through the line. As soon as it's on the other side of the line, you're in West Virginia. Welcome to the South, boy. Next signal is called an aggressive counter trend. ACT. RASPACT. Find out what it means to me. ACT, aggressive counter trend. What does that mean? It means the following. And you can use any of these, some of these, none of these. I don't care. I want you to start out on a good foot, and I'm showing you what's worked really well. If the trend, for example, is up, and you get to a sell signal, there's a little nickely neck right there, and there's a sell signal. It's counter trend. Lee, this is open for a puncture. It's always open for a puncture. I'll take it. On the close of this candle, and I find this to be true anecdotally, somewhere between 20 to 30% of the time, this comes in as a high. And so what I've learned to do is I'll put my stop right above the candle, 2 ticks. Not here, 2 ticks above there. Up here, Lee, what do I have waiting in case that fails? A buy stop. Right up here for a puncture trade. 2 tick is my rule. Whatever your rule is, roll with it. And what I'm expecting, what I'm hoping we'll see, is this thing just comes in and goes, ah, and drops. And this happens about a quarter of the time. So I'm risking a nickel to make $1. Large risk reward ratios here. Now, fun fact, if there's a candle to the left of this and the wick is a little higher, but it's still not this stop, Lee, that's where I'll put my stop above. So in the case of a counter trend trade, an aggressive counter trend trade, look left. That's always the thing. If it's equal to the stop or greater than the original stop, cancel, walk away. Now look, so there's 2 ways to trade this. One is to the next signal, and another one is to the moving average. You can trade it to the MA, or you can trade it to the next time. That is an aggressive counter trend setup. 842, where's the stop? The stop is right above that candle. Aggressive counter trend. Measure it. Close of the candle, never looks back. Ergovon, look, plus 12. Right here, stop above this candle, comes down to the moving average, it's 38 points. 38 points is 600, which for me is break even. And so I finish that trade with the letter of the law, break even right here. Close of the candle at 937. Look, behold the glory. Behold the samurai greatness of the aggressive counter trend entry. And I taught this the last 3 weeks, so I'm not making this up. Look at the recordings. I can get them for you. We can watch the videotape. Lee, where's my stop? My stop is 2 ticks under this candle. Where do I get in? The close of the candle. Where do I get out? The close of the next signal. Here to here. $48. Choke on it, stock goddess. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that out loud, but I did. I said it because they're crazy people online writing silly things. That's a whole other conversation. Did I count that one yet? I think that's what this one was. Yes. Next signal. This one doesn't work. It's not part of the 25%. It comes and hits the stop. Minus 42. What's going on at 10:01? How many of you know I'm going to make a silly noise right now? How many of you know I earned the right to make the silly noise? There's the low, 1, 2. Where's the close? Right here. How far is the original stop? Way down here. And then you have to get in at the close of the candle. And now you're in it, and you know already how long to hold the signal because it's telling you 10:23, you have to get in the chopper. And then this one is the biggest trade. It's $150 times $20 per contract. That's $3,000. And it went immediately in your direction, you puny trader. I can't afford your software. No, but you could afford your crappy moving average crossover piece of garbage guy who had a Jesus fish on his calendar and promised you that it was going to be okay. Stop it. All of you, stop it. Behold the miracle that is time cycle analysis, you lunatics. Any questions about this? I'm going to bring it down a notch, and yes, this beverage is highly caffeinated. All the settings in my webinar, Thomas, are always 714,008, except the daily ES chart, which is a 1, 2, 3, 0, 5 swing strength calendar in to trading days. My daily ES is 1, 2, 3, 0, 5 trading days. Every other chart for 15 years, 16 years is always these settings. Okay. Now, who wants to see another one? Ready? Gold, number 2 requested favored instrument. If you were trading gold today, this is what it did. And at any given point in time, you weren't sure what to do. And what most of you do when I see your charts and I get to your screen, you throw a Bollinger Band on there, you put an EMA on there and Fibonacci pivots with a Fisher transform. You say to yourself, somebody told me I gotta have floor trader pivots. So you put those on there too. You got a momentum indicator for momentum indicator in there because somebody said oscillators are good too. And you can't really trade without volume, so you got to have that on there. And this is what most of you are looking like when you come to the markets. And this is generous. Some of your charts, I have like, you know the movies where they warn you about epileptic seizures because there's a lot of flashing going on? Most of you have charts like this before you find us. I suggest there's another way. And so 4 days ago, I told everybody, 18,000 of you watch this, watch gold. And here's what popped up. I'm going to let it come up. That's what she said. And we'll take a look at the times. Something in the interweb right now. Morgan Stanley is hacking my webinar connection. Bartholomew, get him off the air. He's going to ruin our scam. I'm trying as hard as I can, Rothschild. Let's try one more time. It's there. I swear to God, it's there. I don't know what's up. It's coming. All right. While that's coming up, will you at least grant me a little rope, and I'll load what it said now that you know, and I'll come back and pull it up after. Okay. These are the signals for gold today. Here it is. They finally came up. Take a screenshot. Go back. 130. Here's 130. Everything else, use your imagination. There we go. If you just took signals with trend from the econ forward, this is all hypothetical, of course, right? Long at 835 misses the stop by 1 tick. And I get out with 6 ticks, $60. Puncture at 940, stop below the puncture candle, enter on the other side of the blue line, exit by 955, 7 ticks. Puncture 2968, stop below 2964.5. How long do I hold it? Until 1120, $1,550. Signal with trend 1120. When do I exit? 1235. These are just signals with trend. We'll do the aggressives in a second. 1255, first loss, -6. 230 plus 11. 415 right now, we're up 30. Aggressive counter trend, ready? Stop out, -13. Look left. Stop out, -10. Straight above the high, -12. Straight above the high, -20. Straight above the high, -8. So 6, 13, 163, 268, 270, 300 ticks, 290, 285, 270, 260, -2.1. It's a lot of ticks. It's over 150. I've been doing this all day. I'm so tired. And then over here, if you started at 130, you were short all the way there. There's $650 more, right? And then this short right here, aggressive counter trend. So you're seeing how this is all kind of coming together. And it wasn't just today. These are yesterday's signals, right? And look at where the banks are buying and selling. This is 2 days worth of gold. You want to see something really bananas? Look at the daily chart for gold. How many of you bought that sweet ass Costco bar, that 1 ounce of shiny gold bar over at Costco? You know you did. You don't have to tell me. I know you did. I had a meeting earlier this week. I recorded it and I told the guy the signal was long from March 5th until March 21st. Last week, before we were here, on Thursday last week, you saw this signal. I told you about this signal. Where is it? Brand new high. This is a daily chart. I can look at a weekly chart. No other program can do this. How long is gold expected to go up? The week of Friday, March 21st. I have until the end of next week. Is there any difference between the signal accuracy on a weekly chart for gold and a 1-minute NQ chart? They look the same, except One is going up and one is going down. If I told you this was a 1 minute NQ chart and you couldn't see the corner, you'd say, wow, it's about the same, right? I can apply this to the SPY. And Thomas, what happens when the line goes through? What happens when we break the stop level? When we break the stop level, if you use the trend identifier inside of Warp, it actually tells you when the uptrend has changed to a downtrend, right? And according to this, we should have stopped looking for uptrends back on the 19th of April. And the program would have warned you to take the short or the puts on the 5th and the puts on the 20th of December. We broke that stop. We punctured the white line. Mary, they didn't have the gusto to go all the way up away from it since April. Okay. We look at the ES on a weekly chart. Guess what? Same thing. Look at the signals here on the chart. We'll get rid of the identifier, so there's just you, me, and the signals. Look at where the high was here on the 20th. And now, Mary, 1 close, 2 close, 3 close, 4 weeks down. Where do you think they're going? I can tell you where they're going because there's another thing Warp does that I haven't shown you yet, and it generates support and resistance lines. Every time signal generates a support and resistance line. Lee, where is the S&P going? $5,448.50, maybe one tick above that. How many times has that been a support level for the market? Here and here. And guess what? We're coming back to it. There's a dead guy who said this would happen if we watched it. His name was William Delbert Gann. And Gann said, hey, if you study the time periods and time cycles, you'll learn why tops and bottoms are found at certain times. We got that part. What else you got, dead guy? Why resistance levels are so strong at certain times and bottoms and tops hold around them. You get a twofer. It's a BOGO. Buy one, get one. Well, where else is it? Oh, I see it here and here and here also. And then a pullback to here again and again and again. So the first point is right here. The next line is right here, where guess what? They came all the way down and came all the way right back up. You get support and resistance in addition to the time signals as part of the program. Simply go into the signal accessory editor and where it says signal accessory editor, choose open price line and then activate it. Uncheck this box and have as many signals as you want right there. Let's take a look at oil. Yeah, no way to know where the support and resistance lines for oil are. Let's come here and put some orange lines so you can see them better. There's one. And then there's a bunch here, 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 and here. And now here, and here, and here. That's quite a few lines. What is oil expected to do now that we get to the week of Friday the 14th? Mary, what happens if we have a buy signal and by the time we get to the next sell signal, we're exactly where we started? Lee, didn't we start the conversation like that on a 5-minute E-mini S&P chart? We just talked about this. It doesn't matter if you're a swing trader, a big Ganzamaka investor. It doesn't matter if you're a scalper. There is no stomach for the market to go up. It's all the way back where it started, and it closed below this line. Now, let me see if there's any lines that I missed. No, those are the most recent ones. Okay, one thing I can do in time, if there's a gap like that, is I can split the gap into thirds. Here's another thing you can do with time signals. So Lee, I take that area and I split it into 1/3, 33%, 66%. The next stopping point for oil is back to 64.40, 64.37 before or on April 25th that week. I can split any support and resistance gap into thirds. You know what else I can do? I can take any gap in time and I can split it into thirds. Buying comes in on the 33, selling comes in on the 66. You can split any gap in time into thirds to see smaller waves inside of the big time wave. You can take any time gap horizontally and split it into thirds and see where the support and resistance levels are. This is Tesla on a weekly chart. All I did was type TSLA. That's all I just did. I didn't change the settings. I didn't optimize the chart. If you look at the settings, it says the same thing. 7, 14, 8 calendar days. Can you see what I see? Said the shepherd boy to the little lamb. Who sold at the top? Everybody in the know. I will guarantee you, Elon's dumb-looking cowboy hat wearing piece of garbage brother sold stock all the way up on Christmas. I will guarantee you all of his beer buddies and his 52 wives sold stock up at the 20th in a dark pool we'll never know about. I guarantee it. How long is this move going to last? And where did it just stop at and close underneath? Right here. Where's the next support and resistance for Tesla? Because if you listen to the morons on the trading groups and Facebook, they tell me this is a buying opportunity. They've been saying buying opportunity, don't believe the haters for weeks. And the stock goddess literally wrote, it's going up from here. That was like 9 down days ago. And it's the same principle. Look, there's your support and resistance level. Here's your support and resistance level. What happens when there's no more lines below you? When there's no more lines below you, there's another rule. Oh, I missed a line right here. That was the other line. Yep, from way back there. When there's no more lines below you, you can take the line from here, go to the bottom of the last line, and extend the gap. You can use that thirds, but extend the last known gap like this. Stocks are like physics. It's physics and mathematics. It's not insanity and fundamentals. They use those things to get you crazy. They get you on the wrong side. Yesterday, news came out, it was good, and one of my customers wrote in the Skype group, looks like we're going to have a positive day. I didn't say anything. I wanted him to learn the lesson on his own. When there's good news, the market drops because they've already shorted it in a dark pool days ago. So where's Tesla headed? You can see it. It's not time. It's not time yet. Where is it headed? There's 1, 2, 3 lines down here around $177. We just closed below this one. We're closing above 227.94. If it closes below that line, Katie bar the door down until the week of the 28th of March. It's 2 weeks from now. And did it have anything to do with Elon Musk and Doge and the 14-year-olds he brought to the, God help us all, to the Treasury, where every payment that's ever been made to every man, woman, and child, the most sensitive software in the world and database ever generated, and they're walking in there with their gaming laptops, just having a blast. Did it have anything to do with any of those things? No. It's coming right back into the value area. This is where it's always been. Any questions about this? Any questions about this before we start to wrap it up? I've been in rare form today, and I think that it's been unfair to you to unleash the full fury of my energy. But I don't want there to be any doubt about what this can do for you, because I believe in it. When we invented it, we made it because there was nothing like it on the planet. Eurodollar 3-minute chart. When we invented it, there was nothing like it that answered the question, how come every time I go in one direction, it goes in the complete opposite direction? How come when there's good news, it goes in the complete opposite direction? Nobody could answer that question for me. Bitcoin on a 5-minute chart today. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain. Lee, did the banks buy and sell at the times they promised they were going to do it? Ergovon, Ergovon, Ergovon. Congratulations. I will no longer pick on you in my webinar. I appreciate it. This looks like JP Morgan knew exactly when to sell Bitcoin. And then they did it again at 8:55. And then they did it again at 12:35. And then they did it again at 1:30. And then they did it again at 2:55. And they're doing it right now in front of us. They took profit at 4:45. They took profit at 7:35. They took profit at 9:50 and 12 o'clock. And look, they already have the plan. It's all here. How far in advance? 7 days in advance. I have the signal times right now for 7 days into the future. They do not change, repaint, disappear, reappear. All of the shenanigans. We are shenanigan free. Fun fact, if you look at Bitcoin on a daily chart, I didn't change the settings. I just changed the instrument. It's recalculating. Guess what we're going to see? Yes, Lee, always check your setup and trade your plan. We knew Bitcoin was in trouble on February 2nd because, Mary, we finished where we started. We finished where we started. It didn't finish where it started on the 31st. It didn't finish where it started on the 11th. It didn't finish where it started on the 15th. It didn't finish where it started on the 4th or on the 1st. And Lee, look, right here, it started at 78,600 something, and we're coming up on the 17th. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh, does it look like there's zero appetite for a sustained move in the longs. This is JP taking profit on all the crypto guys in their basement who held their coins and ignored me on all the posts in all the forums that I wrote on social media. Look, it's coming. This is now a downtrend right here. No one believed me. And so it doesn't matter what you think or what the fundamentals are and what the guy on TV is saying or what the guru you're listening to who gave you the extra free trial for the thing and the ebook and the blah, blah, blah. And he's teaching you his one secret setup that rhymes with 3 letters of the alphabet. This is my XYZ setup, my ICT setup, my Elemental P setup. There's an army of 26-year-olds on YouTube who are hustling people and making money on affiliate commissions who've never placed a trade in their life. And they've got it all figured out. And they say things like fair value gap, and the rest of you go, oh, and they show you after the fact, or they use the market replay on their YouTube channel, and you go, oh, he's so good. He placed a trade and it went right to the target because he used market replay. Hello, McFly. I give you the times, days, weeks, months in advance. Look, there it is. Behold, Bitcoin's plan till June. I told you what it would be when we were back here. And we're kind of left with a choice now, right? We're kind of left with a decision. Because this isn't some ethereal moment where we talk about the metaphysics of trading and the importance of psychology and all that stuff. I want you guys to see that when it comes time to short, we short it. I was short from 324 right there. I was short on the ES. I was short on the Russell. Right? These are real trades. We were short this morning at 11:20 on the 5-minute ES with the rest of you. Omar, I'm going to show you how to get started. And you're going to join our army of successful superheroes. And I will give you a superhero name. Here's how we go. First of all, thanks for enduring the insanity that was my stuff. This is what I believe. I'm not a genius. At least I don't think so. All we did was build on the shoulders of the developers who came before us. Right? Guys like William Delbert Gann and Euler and Wells Wilder, these guys, they open your eyes to things and get you to think about stuff that you ordinarily wouldn't look at. So you got to give credit where credit's due. But when Henry Ford got his hands on cars, he changed everything. And that's what I want to do here today. I want to change everything. I believe that time is the most important factor. I believe it to my core. I predicted the last 2 recessions, 2020 and this one, years in advance. I have the proof. I have the recordings. I have the witnesses. Using the methods that we're teaching you here today. This is just the tip of the iceberg, but it's been working since 1909. By knowing the past, you can tell the future. Okay? It's time. And if you're a new trader especially, please move forward with me now because you don't have any bad habits. You don't have any bad memories. I don't have to hear your sob story about how the last guy really burned you. Let's go. On our website, the program I've been debuting is called TachEon Warp. TachEon Warp, when I click on the Learn More link, this is everything we've been talking about. Okay? There's a link here at the bottom of the page Omar, I'm going to send you the link, and I'm going to make you raise your right hand. Raise your right hand right now. I, Omar, promise to put the numbers from my gold card into the TachEon Time Warp purchase page. It's not $29.95. Buy now, and there's a promo code. Watch me type it. WARPOFF. Get it because it's disappearing. The accountant said don't use it anymore. You don't need to because your competitors are charging $10,000 a year. There's a company, I can show you them. Most of you have bought their garbage. They charge $10K a year. Lowercase, no capitals. W, Whiskey Alpha Radio Papa Oscar Foxtrot Foxtrot. Whiskey Alpha Radio Papa Oscar Foxtrot Foxtrot. When you hit it and press apply, it takes $500 off. That's your compensation for enduring the full unshielded glory of my insanity today. That's going to include free installation, 2 NinjaTrader licenses. It's going to include lifetime updates. It's also going to include access to the Skype room. The Skype group right here. There's 351 customers in our Skype group. If you have a question about the program, you want to talk to people about their setups, you want to share your success stories, you want to make friends in trading and have someone to complain to when it misses your target by the tick and keeps going, we have a community of users. We're going to be migrating to a Discord type environment because Skype is going away, which is good because I don't want to be friends with Gloria Brooks, who's really a guy in Nigeria that wants to tell me about a cryptocurrency opportunity. Microsoft did zero to block these people, and I'm happy that they killed Skype, just like Meta killed the Oculus Rift. Microsoft destroys everything good. So we're moving. You can be part of that community. The thing to remember is you're not the first person who's made this decision. We have an excellent rating, a 4.7. There's a few 1 stars in there. I wish I could delete them. I'll be honest with you. If I could, I probably would. See, I told you I'm human. But most of the people, the guy who wrote it is in the webinar today. The software is absolutely amazing. He just bought it. I was able to pass my Apex evaluation in 3 days after being in the training room for 1 week. I'm so grateful to start my TradingView with these guys' journey. The software is better as you learn about the abundant capabilities to control how you see the markets. I believe it's the best in the industry. And then, of course, what other people have written here today. And on, and these are real people with real receipts who sat exactly where you're sitting right now. And I've asked each of everybody who's having a good or bad time, come in here and share your experience. So that when someone like Omar is sitting there and saying, I don't know, feels like a lot. Are you sure? And Donna goes, Omar, this was the missing piece for me. The tools are terrific and will pay for themselves in short order. I'm supposed to tell you something, how these are unusual and not the norm, and these are testimonials and don't expect it. But this is what people are writing. And so when you're sitting here and you're getting ready, press checkout, fill out your stuff, put in your number, and then you're going to get access to some things. Right after your software goes through, your purchase goes through, you're going to get a username and password. You're going to plug it in here, and then it's going to give you access to training video archive with the basic setups. It's going to give you access to workspaces and templates. It's going to give you access to the community. It's going to give you access to technical support. All of those things are here. Make the investment in yourself, said Lee. Okay, so you got to start here. And remember, everything you saw here today was real. I didn't fake any of this. The cost of the software is paid for theoretically in one day with one setup from here to here. That's $3,000, $3,040, I think. Something in that neighborhood in one trade. Don't tell me you can't afford it. You can't afford not to. And that's all I have to say about that. Lastly, if you think it's not going to work, you're right. Most people, when they get to this point, I'm rubbing my head right now in frustration. Most people, when they get to here, they've been praying for years. They're literally vibrating at this frequency of, is there anything out there that works? Is there anyone here who can show me with total transparency that it's for real? Are there hundreds of people who've left reviews for me to feel comfortable about because I'm lost? I know that this can change my life. I know I can change my family's life if I just do this correctly. I see other people do it. At least I think it's real. And then this shows up. And you're sitting here, and there's this little voice in your head that goes, it's too good to be true. You don't want this. That's a lot of money. What's Mrs. Omar gonna say? Why don't you give up? And it's here. The thing that you wanted, the thing that you hoped was real. You vibrated for it, you prayed for it, and it's here. I take this very seriously. This is an appointment that you made with yourself. And now the rubber meets the road. Are you going to follow through with the requests that you made? Or are you going to leave it and walk away? There's a great story I was telling someone. I used to lead a Bible study years ago. And there were 5 lepers in the story in the New Testament. Whether you believe it's real or not, the author wanted us to learn something. 5 lepers were healed and only one turned back. Only one turned back. That's 20%. And when we look at the website and we see how many people come through and witness what you just saw here today, it's even lower. About 15% of people who see what you see and observe what you observed and experienced what you've experienced completely transparently, only 15% of people grab it and go. The other 85% are within inches of hypothetical greatness, and they walk away. Can you imagine? Your skin looked like sandpaper. Nobody wanted to be your friend. And then this guy goes, abracadabra. And you look like Fabio. Women are throwing themselves at you in the oasis again. And the first thing you do is you walk away. You're like, all right, hasta la vista. That's the natural human tendency. When you're in front of the thing that's the best thing for you, you walk away. Don't do that. Don't do that. Chart a new course. That's as philosophical as I'm going to get here today. Do institutional behavior patterns exist in the markets you trade? I would say yes. I would say yes. And if you're tired of being on the brown end of the stick, and if you want to join the army of people who've said, I could write anything and I came here today, and I'm here 2 days ago and I want you to know I killed it, and I'm right next to the guy who didn't like it at all, and he's surrounded by other people who are killing it, then move forward. Move forward. You got the link in the chat box. Fill it in. The promo code is WARP, Whiskey Alpha Radio, Papa, Oscar Foxtrot, Foxtrot. Live installation if you need it. We'll put it on there for you. Lifetime licenses, 2 computer upgrades for NinjaTrader, and one other thing before you go. If you're not a NinjaTrader fan, if you don't have NinjaTrader and you have TradingView, I didn't mean to make this crazy, but I forgot to tell you, I'm going to be mad. If you have TradingView and you want to see the same kinds of things that you saw today, this is a program called Kronos, Kronos. And Kronos will let you look at the same kinds of markets with the same predictive capability. Bear in mind, it's limited because TradingView is a limited platform. The web-based platforms only give us so much room to program. And so if you want to have that for your TradingView, the version of that program on our website is called Kronos. And I wanted you to see right under this one where it belongs. If you click Learn More and scroll down, that one is $249 a month. It's going to $295 a month next. Okay, it was $200, now it's $249. It's going to $295. There's an early adopter program in place right now. We filled the first 10 seats. These seats are almost filled. If you want Kronos, there it is. I have a class that meets Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 11. I show live signals and setups. I have them all documented in a book, a PDF that I give people. We look at those setups live together. I have a $200 a day per contract daily goal. Okay, if you want to add that to your Warp purchase, it's $200 a month. My goal is $200 a day. So whether you're looking at Warp for NinjaTrader, lifetime license, or Kronos for TradingView monthly subscription, you can also add a live training room where we take live setups together Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every week, at least 2 hours together. Kronos. All right. I love you guys. I think you're amazeballs. I'm looking for an inspirational slide to leave us on. I don't know where it is. I should have stopped when I was ahead. Now I have epilepsy. Yeah, that's a good one to stop with. If you want to know when the moves are coming tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, you can have them in a few minutes on the other side of your purchase. If you want to be part of a community of traders who've given us a 4- and 5-star review almost all the time, it's on the other side of your transaction. If you want a lifetime license with free updates on a program that has over 33,000 lines of code and is growing, it's on the other side of that transaction. The thing you prayed for, asked Jesus, Allah, and the Kwanzaa tree for is sitting at your feet. Don't follow the 80% of the lepers. Turn around, stay exactly where you are. The thing you need is right in front of you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your face. Whatever you choose today, may your valleys rise up to meet you. May your mountains lay low before you. I am for you. I believe you can do this. I've seen every level of intelligence and wealth and privilege, every level of exertion and desire and history, good and bad, come at this and make it to the other side. I've seen it myself, 16 years. I know that you can do it. If you're here today, the thing you were asking for, it's right there. This is a divine appointment. Take it seriously, sit down, really think about what you saw and ask yourself, where could Michael have faked any of it? And if you search your heart, you know the answer is nowhere. But I believe in you. Wherever you end up, keep pushing, keep going. There's millions and millions of dollars available, funded accounts, trade your own money. It's the Wild West right now. With a little bit of discipline and help with someone, from someone like us, I know that you can do it. Don't be discouraged. Keep at it. Maybe take a break for a while, but keep at it. You're learning every day. People are falling by the wayside in droves. Stay the course. Hang in there. You can do it. I'll see you guys later. I appreciate you, Luke, Lee, everyone. Omar, welcome on board. Ergovan, I knew you could do it. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys in my live class on Tuesday. If not, next Thursday, be there or be square. Take care. God bless and catch you soon.